Hey everyone, it's me again, and this time I got us someone really important. BC Conservative Party, Scott Anderson. He is the new interim leader. Hi, good morning, Scott. How are you?
Good morning, Jipper. How are you?
Good, good. Hey, I want to thank you for doing this interview. Everyone is really looking forward to hearing directly from the party. I know that we're just getting started. It's very exciting. I myself is very excited. So I just want to congratulate you for the new position and the new responsibility that you have. I think it's going to be great for the country, for the province. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, Scott?
Well, I was born in Winnipeg. I grew up in India and Mexico. Moved back to Canada when I was 17, and I've been here ever since.
Wow.
I own a couple of small businesses. I just retired as a commissioned officer with the Canadian Forces Reserves, and I'm currently a city councillor for the city of Vernon.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well,
I,
that
uh,
sounds like a very adventurous life you've got there. How did you get into politics?
Well, I was first attracted to the grassroots conservatism back in the late 1980s, and in 1993 election had the honor of acting as a campaign manager for the Reform Party candidate. From there, I accepted a term as a legislative assistant for a Reform MP, and I've pretty much been involved in small C conservative politics ever since.
Oh, so from
Um,
from the very beginning, you've been a conservative, right?
Yeah, I first joined the Conservative Party in 2012. I got involved at the local board here in Vernon, Monashee. I ran as a candidate in 2013. And shortly after that, I was elected to the provincial board. I served 4 terms here, and I was elected a 5th time, but immediately after this last AGM, I was asked to be the interim leader, and I accepted.
Yeah, and I'm sure your work it's all cut out for you. I'm sure you're very busy as the new interim leader. What are the priorities for the party? What do you see the priorities are for the party?
Well, my priorities as the interim leader are 2 things. First of all, to maintain unity and to leave no doubt in anyone's mind that the BC Conservative Party is a conservative, a small c conservative party. Um, as many people know, this party has had problems with fractured leadership in the past, and I've witnessed many of those episodes from the inside. But one thing I've noticed over the past 2 years is a real trend toward unity. The men and women who have been in leadership positions have really put themselves out to maintain unity the last 2 terms, and
Right.
I've never seen the party more unified than it is right now.
Yeah, and I was in the last meeting that we had, and that was very exciting. I had my son there. He was very impressed. In the group conservative for 2019 that I manage and say no to Justin Trudeau, and some other groups that I post regularly. When I always mention BC conservatives getting ready, will be around for the next election. Many of them say BC Liberals are the conservative of BC. What do you say to those folks that is not true?
Well, I could say carbon tax and leave it at that.
Yeah.
Because, the carbon tax represents better than anything I can think of the tax and spend philosophy of the BC Liberal Party.
Oh, for sure. As a conservative, there's
It's
no way I'm going to support a carbon tax.
Yeah, it's a money grab, and it's disguised as green policy, but it actually hurts the middle class and the poor disproportionately,
Yeah.
and as a kicker, doesn't do what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
But I guess beyond that, our platform is exactly what the BC Liberal Party has pretended to represent whenever it thinks it'll get votes by doing so.
Yeah.
But fortunately for the voters of this province, the last Liberal throne speech, more or less adopted the NDP platform. And it revealed, I think, the true nature of the party as a cynical, power-hungry group of elites who will say and do anything to maintain power.
Yeah, and it's nice that you mentioned the Green and the NDP, and the other people that are saying as well with BC Conservatives coming up, we're gonna split the votes, which I don't believe, because we have a very razor thin majority, razor thin. It's not even that. It's much thinner than that. You got the Green and you have the NDP, just so they have 1 or 2 votes ahead. What do you think about that? Why do you think they ended up with a razor thin majority?
Well, I think think the reasons people are fed up with the cynical manipulations of the BC Liberals, but they're scared stiff of the tax and spend, irresponsible spending of the NDP, and now the Greens are in the mix too.
Yeah, they're gonna make it worse.
I think what we're seeing is the death throes of the Liberal Party. They're in such disarray in the post-election period. They don't know whether to veer to the left or the right, and they don't have a candidate who's really a small C conservative. So I really see this. When people talk about splitting the votes, the only votes that are being split now are on they're between the Liberals, the NDP, and the Greens.
Yeah.
The small C conservative sphere in the body politic is empty, and this is a tremendous opportunity for our party to step up and represent the small C conservatives.
The coalition of the NDP and the Green, I don't think it really is. I don't think it's going to do the province really really good. I think it's going to be bad for the province. What kind of damage do you foresee they're going to do to the province here?
Well, I mean, we can only wait and see. I'm not going to predict anything bad, but I mean the philosophy of both parties is big central government solutions, which always turn into bureaucracy run amok. They tend to generate huge bureaucracies that then turn into themselves. They operate for themselves and forget about what they're supposed to do in the first place. We've seen it time after time.
Yeah,
so,
I've seen it in Saskatchewan, and it's NDP party really scares the heck out of me. Now, where does the party stand with taxes?
Well, with taxes, we don't like them. But it's short and sweet. We believe in smaller government, efficient service delivery, and of course, last but not least, lower taxes. In fact, the very first thing we intend to do is get rid of the carbon tax.
Yes.
Which is simply, as we spoke, simply a greenwash money grab. We'll be looking at streamlining service delivery through careful reduction in some of the enormous bureaucracies that have grown up in areas like healthcare that suck resources away from the front lines where they're really needed and into level after level of managerial positions.
Yeah.
Again, all bureaucracies start out with a great idea. No one sets out to build an enormous, expensive machine, but at some point the bureaucracy itself takes over and starts running for its own benefit rather than what it's supposed to
and
produce.
that's the nature of government. It's gonna grow and grow. It's gonna feed itself, and us taxpayers are the one that's gonna foot the bill for all of that. So
Yes.
Now, what about the energy industry? I mean, we are rich in natural resources.
Well, I mean, cheap energy is the backbone of modern civilization, and while fossil fuels will almost certainly at some point be replaced by cleaner forms of energy in the future.
Well, of course we hope so as well, right?
Of course. Most of the technologies that are available today, though, like solar and wind and geothermal, are either immature or simply not ready for deployment.
Right.
There's only one form of clean renewable energy that's been proven viable over the long term, and that's hydroelectricity.
Right.
So we fully support the development of Site C Dam.
Right.
As more electric cars come onto the market, they're going to. If electric cars are the next evolution in transportation, we're going to need massive infrastructure to accommodate them and massive amounts of electricity. So,
Right.
So we definitely support Site C. And like all parties, we'd like to see clean renewable energy become the norm. But unlike other parties, we think the best driver of innovation is entrepreneurship in the free market. And not government penalties like the carbon tax.
Yeah, I agree.
We're also realistic, and we recognize that we have a tremendous opportunity to export LNG and oil to what is a growing global market. But successive governments have thrown roadblock after roadblock in front of development, to the point that we're in danger of losing the opportunity.
Yeah, and I think that's halting progress. And one of the things that, to me, I believe is that they think that we're against clean energy when we're just realistic. We're not going to have airplanes all of a sudden running on solar panels. You know what I mean?
No, and you can't plow a field with a bicycle either.
Yeah, no kidding. So now in the new website, beautiful website, nicely redone. I urge everyone to visit that website. And I saw a post there about rideshare. Can you explain a little bit more about this one so that everyone out there knows what this rideshare is about?
Oh, sure, and that's a very good question. Ride sharing has been around since about 2009, and it's essentially when a company allows private car owners to act as taxis. It works through an app which allows customers to call in and have a car dispatched out. That, in a nutshell, is what ride sharing is.
Right.
And a few folks have commented on the irony of supporting something that the Green Party is in favor of. And in fact, it is ironic because the Green Party supports it for almost exactly the opposite reason we do. The Greens are pushing something called a shared economy, which is a sort of kickback to the 1960s commune mentality when, where everyone shares everything and sings kumbaya at the end of the day.
Yeah.
We think this is unworkable and naive and has nothing to do really with the business of ride sharing.
Right.
The reason we endorse ride sharing is that it offers competition to what has till now been an archaic cartel system that forces taxi drivers or taxi owners rather, to buy expensive licenses,
right,
if they're available in order to operate a cab. We think ride sharing offers an innovative way to supply competition and in the process not only open the economy to thousands of people, but quite likely drive down transportation costs so that people won't be paying the same amount of money that they were before. And of course, we think there has to be a regulatory framework to make sure that taxis and ride sharing are operating on the same level, on a level playing field. But competition is almost always good for the economy, and we feel that ride sharing offers that.
Well, I'm a big fan of that because, as an entrepreneur myself and a free enterprise person myself, I like it because it also provides an option for someone to either have an extra income, or it could very well be their very number one source of income.
Absolutely.
And that is the biggest thing for me. That's why I support it a lot. So overall, if you have to summarize this so that everyone in BC looking at the party, what is our overall platform?
Well, you were at the last AGM, Jay, and I'm sure you noticed the number of young people in the room.
Oh, yes.
It was overwhelming. It was something I've never seen before. I usually look out at a sea of gray hair, and while we absolutely value experience in the party, this was something of an eye-opener with young people coming on board. I was amazed.
We're looking at what I think the youngest I saw was, well, my son is 18, and then yes. I know that we have director at large that are mid-20s, even younger.
Well, our youngest is 22.
There you go.
But the median age of the board has dropped considerably, probably by 20 years now.
Yeah.
So I am frankly amazed, and that to me represents an opportunity. So I've put together an advisory group of young people. Many of them are young, with incredibly sharp minds and fiscal conservative background. And we're developing a platform that will be rolling out prior to the by-election in West Kelowna. Some items we've already released, like the ride sharing we were just talking about,
yeah.
And support of Site C, of course. And of course, our number one promise is to scrap the carbon tax immediately upon forming government. So, but generally speaking, our platform is going to be a true free market, fiscal conservative platform that allows British Columbians to keep more of their own money and make more of their own decisions. We happen to think that British Columbians are the best resources the province has, and to that end, we'll push for smaller government, efficient service delivery, and lower taxation.
All right. Well, I think everyone would have a really good idea on where we are at with our party, and I know you have a lot of work to do, a lot of challenges ahead, but I myself is very excited. And I'm sure everyone else is going to be very excited. So do you have any last words? I'll give you the last words, and we'll leave it at that.
Well, back to our membership and the folks who have been left out in the cold by the Liberal Party's extreme tack to the left. We're back. We're united. We're conservative, and we're ready.
Awesome. Okay, Scott. I want to thank you again for doing this interview. We'll be watching closely your progress. We'll see how the party does, and good luck in the next election. Looking forward to that.
Thank you much.
All right. Thank you.
Take care.